Smoke and screeching tires, a driver pulls dangerous stunts just a few blocks from the Superdome. Good evening and thank you for watching, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Karen Swenson. That viral video of lawlessness in the CBD shows a driver doing donuts, and you saw that passenger hanging out of the sunroof with what looks like a huge gun, if not an assault rifle. Yeah, the mayhem played out this past Sunday at Howard and O'Keefe Avenues. The video is causing concern with both business owners and youth advocates. JD Career has that story.
The remaining tire marks at the intersection of Howard and O'Keefe in downtown New Orleans are faint. Police say this daredevilish disregard for all things safe took place Sunday evening around 5:30. Seen in the video, the caption, AK-47 in his hands, I'd say it's time to call in the troops, Mayor Cantrell. A block over at the intersection of Howard and Barone, the general manager of locally owned G's Restaurant and Bar says this is nothing new. Yancey Theodore says it's such a regular occurrence. He says he wonders why it's so hard for police to deter.
It seems like it's the Wild Wild West because they can just do whatever they want, whenever they want, and just peel off, catch the interstate, and just be wherever they want to be.
Theodore says between COVID, Hurricane Ida, and the parade route changes, business was already bad enough.
We already have trouble staffing. We already have trouble with people not thinking the city is safe. And then when they see things like that, it's like confirmed.
This is what happens when you do not use the resources that we have properly.
Kevin Griffin Clark is a youth advocate that has been doing the work both directly in the community and using social media with the digital collective 2 Cent for over a decade. He believes that part of what we're seeing with the rising crime in general is a trend known as flexing for the gram.
It's a one-up. It's a competition of sorts. And so you have to outdo whoever did it first or whoever did it prior to you.
A dangerous trend that's not limited to high-octane thrill seekers. Griffin Clark says gunplay is fair game as well.
With real heavy artillery,
Griffin Clark says he understands the need to hold youth accountable for crimes they commit, but he says oftentimes kids in the justice system fall through the cracks. Griffin Clark recently ran for the city council in District D, but as a 10-year-old, he himself was involved with the juvenile justice system. He says the mentors that came along that helped him grow in his path is what turned his life around, leading him to believe another part of the flexing for the gram trend, a signal that something may be happening with the children on the inside.
We all have different ways that we cry out for help, whether it be negative or positive. And this is just one of the ways that young people are doing it. Like, if you leave me alone for too long to my own, I'll probably self-destruct as well.
Little bombs across New Orleans. JD Career, Eyewitness News.
She was more like a beauty queen from overseas. I said the money to me, I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She says I am the one who would dance on the floor and around, baby.
It's very normal for like threesomes when it's 2 women and a man. But do you think we'll ever come to a place in society where it'll be like a threesome is 2 men and a woman, and they'll be okay with that?
No.
What does that mean?
I mean, for some men they do it, but again, it's just to them is a train. It's not a threesome.
But even for women, a lot of women will never do that.
Yeah, when they ask me, they're like, "Would you do a threesome?" I'm like, "Yeah, bring in. Let me pick the guy." They're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, I get so mad.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've
Let me
only
pick the guy.
done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And
2 men?
2 men. And they traded off. It was like they were friends and they traded off. It's the best 50th birthday ever.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And they traded off. So it was never like them together.
Together, okay.
It was like they were flip-flopping me. One would please me, then he'd pass me to the other. And one would kiss me, and then he'd spin me around for the other.
Oh.
It was like
powerful?
a beautiful dance. Oh my
Nice.
goodness!
Wow.
It was
Tennis
like
match.
it was like doing salsa with 2 guys at the same time. Just like romantic and sexy,
Nice.
and never intertwined, but at the same time it was 2.
So they were friends with each other.
They were friends,
Okay.
and I knew they were friends. And it was all about that Cocoa Patron.
Oh, shit. The purple label.
That
coffee
that
Patron?
coffee Patron.
Cafe.
That
Yes.
cafe
No,
Patron.
I've had some wild nights on that myself.
That cafe Patron.
So wait, so the next day, how did they act to each other, or like afterward? Did they ever acknowledge it, or was it just a one thing and nobody ever discussed it?
No, we all went to breakfast, and it was like 3 friends that hung out and had a good time. It was weird because it's not like I was into that, and I had never done it before.
It's a birthday present.
But it was happy birthday to me. And it was like, okay. And as it was happening, I was like, this is happening. Like, I was like, this is actually happening.
This is really a real thing.
I would kiss one and he would spin me. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And then I just kind of relaxed and let it happen. And the next morning we were like the Three Musketeers.
Bitch, I need some Henny in a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny in a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny. Show me a Plan B. Pop that motherfucking cat teeth. Y'all, come here, come get this motherfucking ass. Pop some Bitch, I need some Henny in a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny in a Plan B. Bitch, I need some Henny in a Plan B.
Belligerent passenger causing sheer chaos in the air. And it got so bad that flight attendants had to duct tape the man to his seat. Ever since masks were required on airplanes, flight attendants say that their work has become downright dangerous.
Now understand something. I'm a flight attendant. That means I attend the flights. Sometimes our job has us attending to crazy people. If you push us too far, you're gonna have to attend this ass whooping. You see, because on this particular flight, I'm sitting in the jump seat and I'm just looking at him act a damn fool. He's spitting and cussing and going crazy. I say, that's enough. I got up and I walked over there. And by the way, this man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret. So I know something's about to go down. At this point, he touching all over my coworker's breast. And where he f***ed up at is when he touched my titties. Because I don't play that. So what I did is I took out the duct tape. I said, he got scared, start stuttering, say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. I said, yeah, we about to mummify your ass now, boy. So we wrapped him up. Better than any Christmas present you will ever see. He won't be coming on no more Frontier flights at all.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh boy.
Shalom. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation, brother Overlick, push his word in truth and sincerity. Alright, this video here is defining flood behavior. Alright. So as you see from these opening clips here, this is what you would call flood behavior. All right, just just out in the world doing your own thing, whatever makes you feel good, just in total neglect of our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, you have no care about anything but yourself. Basically, that which warrants that death. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this definition of behavior. All right, this is the word behavior from thefreedictionary.com. It says the manner in which one acts or behaves. The actions or reactions of a person or animal in response to external or internal stimuli. One of these actions or reactions, the manner in which something functions or operates. All right, I want to focus on that definition there. The manner in which something functions or operates. Okay, if you function, if your main functionality is opposite that of your power, or opposite that of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, it warrants flood behavior. Okay, so we got the manner in which something functions or operates. Okay, so basically it's that particular functionality that warrants being killed. All right, and most of the world actually functions in a manner in which they need to be killed. All right, so you got 2/3 of our people that have to be cut off and die according to the scriptures. Okay, And then you have, the heathen nations, and Esau, Edom. All right. So let's grab Genesis chapter 6. This is Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children unto them, and the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Okay, and this is not talking about angels coming down and having sex and bringing forth 450 feet tall giants or anything like that, neither. All right. Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Okay? And that's the state in which the people are in now, in today. Okay? The wickedness is so great in the earth. I mean, it is it's amazing, actually. Every time I say that, oh yeah, I've seen it all, or it can't get worse than that, oh, it gets worse. I mean, you can't put a level to the amount of wickedness, which is why the Lord said, I said that if he didn't shorten the days for the elect's sake, no flesh would be saved. All right, because they would end up killing everybody on earth. Okay, due to their wickedness. And it says, verse 6, and it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creeping thing, and fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Okay, so we're at that stage now where every imagination, every thought is literally evil and wicked only. Okay, when you talk to these people in the world, Yahweh Shema Shai is literally nowhere near their thoughts, especially our own people. 2/3 of our own people, is literally nowhere near their thoughts. All right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 3. Let's see. And I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gave us a body unto Adam without a soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leadest him into paradise, or thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him, and in his generations, of whom came nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will, all right, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. Okay. And again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelt in the world and destroyed them. All right. So they was partaking in flood behavior. That's why the flood was brought upon them, that first death. And it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. Verse 11. Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. Verse 12. And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham. All right. So it says that even after the flood, they began to be more ungodly than the first. This is why we say that what's going on in the world today, it's way worse than what it was prior to the flood. They brought upon the flood. So what the Lord is going to be righteous when he brings that fire. Okay? You can't place any blame on him. All right? This is warning flood behavior. Okay? Because they were more ungodly, more wicked than the first. And we always say, Babylon the Great makes Sodom and Gomorrah look like child's play. All right? With all the wickedness that's going on here. Let's get this here in Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Sakia. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity. And what is iniquity? Sin upon sin upon sin upon sin. All right. A seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. From the sole of thy foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. All right. So the whole house of Israel is sick. All right. Because why? Because due to it's going off idol worship. The same thing that was happening with the sons of God in Genesis the 6th chapter. All right, that's how they became that's how they started going off. Every imagination in their heart was only evil continually due to idol worship. All right. But when you wander out the way of understanding, you remain in the congregation of the dead. So you have no understanding when you're not following the Lord. Okay? This is Psalms chapter 32, verse 9. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee. Okay? So they have to have a bit and have a bridle. They have to be moved and directed and shifted and all kind of things to, in whatever direction they need to go. Okay? But you have no understanding. You need that. But if you have an understanding, we have the instructions. We have the instructions on how to please our power. How to please Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right? So we wouldn't need no bridle, no bit or bridle. Okay? because we have these scriptures, we have this understanding. Let's see. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 18, but check this out though. And now when I prepared the world which was not yet made, even for them to dwell in that now live, no man spake against me. For then everyone obeyed. But now the manners of them which are created in this world that is made are corrupted by a perpetual seed, and by a law which is unsearchable rid themselves. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the vices that were come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of a great people. Okay, we just read in Isaiah chapter 1, the whole head is sick. Okay, but the Lord is keeping a particular cluster. Okay, let the multitude perish then which are born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect. And that's the elect. Okay, so the elect are going to be found without fault, with no guile in the mouths. Okay, they are that first fruits that's be made perfect. Okay, they're the ones who will understand what flood behavior is, and will turn from it. All right. Let's see. This 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. That's why I brought out, be not as the mule or the ox, which have no understanding. Okay, if you have no understanding, or as it says, they speak evil things that they understand not, you shall utterly perish in their own corruption. Okay, that's why 2/3 of our own people, they don't care. They have no understanding, and they don't want to understand. Thus, they are natural brute beasts, and they take part in bestial behavior. All right, they're flood behavior. They have a very bestial mentality, of base mentality. Okay. But this is where it stems from. This is why when you read through the scriptures, this is what the Lord hates the most. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Okay, what is that incommunicable name? That's Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua. Okay, the names of the true living powers in the earth. Okay, that name is incommunicable because it cannot be transferred. Okay, a communicable disease is something that can be transferred, virally. Okay. But it's an incommunicable name. It cannot be transferred. You can't take the names of the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahweh, Yahushua, and put them on an idol. Okay, it can't be done. Okay. Verse 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. Okay. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. Oh, well, it's like, let me go into this here. So they slew their children in sacrifices. They sacrificing their children. Secret ceremonies and revelings of strange rites. I mean, they going into all these other gods. You have the Baphomet, the Molech. Okay. Tammuz, all these old gods, they are back here today, okay? And people are really worshiping these guys, whether they realize it or not. They are attaining unto these holidays, these so-called holidays, okay, in reverence of all these different gods. Man, people don't even realize what they're doing. Okay, verse 24, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled. All right, you got the alphabet community, okay? You got the man being the woman and the woman being the man, and then they coming together and as a so-called marriage. You have you got the pedophilia, okay? The anus of a little boy, all right? You have you got this, what they call, I take your girl, I steal your girl from you, I take your man from you, stuff like that. Sleep with other people's husbands and wives, man. It's all just crazy nowadays. There's no moral, there's no moral code, there's no standard, okay? That's why I said every thought was evil, was evil continually. It was only evil. But either one slew another treacherously or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good terms, defiling of souls, changing of kind. That changing of kind is, the turning of, a man to a woman and a woman to a man. The whole, the Optimus Prime, the Transformer thing. You know what I'm saying? Disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. Okay, and which is true, because all these people do. You shouldn't have nothing called an open marriage. That's purity wickedness. An open marriage. You know what I'm saying? But hey, people do it. It's so much freakism out here, it's ridiculous. But for the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. All right. So this is why I brought about this flood behavior, because due to idol worship is what brings flood behavior. Idol worship is what brings upon all this wickedness in the earth. Okay. Matter of fact, when you go to the garden and the serpent came to Eve and told her, "Thou shalt not surely die, but thou shalt be as like the powers, knowing good and evil." Okay, that was them presenting another way, presenting another god, an idol. Okay, to get you to not believe in your power and believe upon what your power said. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, but this has been defining flood behavior. So call on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Shem Kakra, should be edified. Shalom.